what is what we do and how we approach the child? How does it work?
Most of us were thinking of it as spasticity as something physical that's happening to our children so we can just mechanically fix it. But that is
Yeah.
not what's happening here.
That's right. That is not what's happening here, because what's generating that spasticity is something in the brain. We know that it is a little glitch in the brain system that is telling the muscle to do something that doesn't have the function that we are looking for when we are looking for natural function.
People get kind of stuck on is that mechanical thing. The muscle is tight, so I have to fix the muscle. But the muscle's not working in isolation. It's not by itself floating off in space. It's connected to a human being with a nervous system and a brain. The muscle is only contracting and releasing because of the brain is telling it to.
That's right. And we have learned from the fitness industry that when we get tightness in our muscles from overwork through exercise, that what we should be doing to help that muscle is to stretch it physically. The idea is that if you stretch it, it'll get elongated. But when you stretch it to a place where it hurts, the brain is getting a signal that more tightness is required because it's painful. If you stretch to a place of pain, the muscle gets tighter, and you're kind of just perpetuating the tightness or spasticity of the muscle by stretching. Stretch reflex kicks in and says,
This hurts.
This hurts, don't do it.
Contract even more.
Stretching is a kind of a mechanical thing that you can do.
But it's not getting to the root cause of it.
The root cause is that there hasn't been enough information, or
sometimes there was enough information, and because of a brain injury, there's been damage to the connection of the signal to the muscle. We need to give the brain quality information to make those reconnections.
Yeah, because the information is giving different kinds of options for the communication from the brain to the muscles.
And that's the key right there, is the different options. Stretching doesn't give you any options really, because it's a mechanical type fix. We want to give the brain options to contract or release, or contract a little bit or release a little bit, and any of those in between. And that's what makes movement graceful and more efficient, because our brains are able to control differentiation between really strong contraction and minimal contraction and release.
The coordination of other muscles, because each muscle doesn't work in isolation from other muscles. So if you're just stretching, mechanically trying to stretch this one muscle, you haven't contemplated, you haven't considered all the other muscles that go into having your arm up like this, or like where else this muscle is supported, like what's happening in the lower back, what's happening in the abdominal muscles, what's happening in all the muscles that are attached to the pelvis. I know it seems like it's a long way away from here, you thinking way down there, but they're all related. And the bigger muscles support the smaller muscles in your system. So if you're ignoring those and you're just like thinking about, say, if you have carpal tunnel syndrome or something, and you are just thinking that the problem is here, you're missing out on like the gem of our nervous system, with the bigger and stronger muscles support all the way down the line to the very end of your tiny little fingers. They don't do the brunt of the work, even though they're the ones that you see typing or writing or playing a violin or whatever it might be. They're the ones that you experience as doing the most work. But if they are not supported by the bigger muscles in your system, they are going to miss out, and they are going to become injured because they're not meant to do that. They're not meant to take on all of the work.
Exactly. And that's why the Anat Baniel Method is so effective, because it's looking at the whole system, the whole nervous system, and how you can move apart isolated, but how you can also connect all of those pieces for more efficiency in movement.
The cool thing about the human nervous system is that we are a self-organizing system. And what this means is that when we throw all this information into our system decides what is going to be most important, most efficient, most functional, and easiest for our system to incorporate and use. It doesn't just take all the information and smush it all together and then and make a glop of information. We choose the easiest and most efficient way to function from all the information that we feed our system. That's a self-organizing nervous system. It's a great advantage. It's a huge advantage for the human system. And as an ABM practitioner, that's what we capitalize on. We are throwing in all the information so that the brain of the person who is experiencing this boatload of information has the chance to pick out what is most efficient and important for their nervous system to use functionally.
You nailed it. The Anat Baniel Method is giving quality information to an information system versus mechanically trying to fix one muscle. It's a very different approach. And that's why the Anat Baniel Method gets results. There is a decrease in spasticity after years of trying traditional stretching because you're working with an information system.
So cool.
So cool. So if you have been stretching and you have been frustrated and not seeing results, we did make a video on 3 things that you can try instead of stretching to support your nervous system and give it that quality information that your nervous system is craving so your brain can reduce spasticity. And you can watch it here